Hello friends, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Jay. Here in my Jazzy Jae kitchen, getting ready to cook you what I think is another delicious meal. And today I'm going to make for you, this is a little bit more artistic than the usual flair. I'm going to make you the seasoned pork medallions. Okay, get a pork tenderloin and slice, about ½ inch pieces from that tenderloin. So and then I season them with salt, pepper, freshly ground black pepper, and some garlic powder. Okay, and I'm going to make a French blackberry gastrique. Ooh, gastrique. What is gastrique? Well, simply it's a caramel kind of sweet sour sauce, and you can enhance the flavors with berries or oranges or however you want to flavor it. But the foundation is basically, most people make it with sugar, water, and vinegar, right? That's the foundation of a gastrique. But I'm not going to use water in mine. And I've already started making it over here on my stove because you have to, I like cooking it for about 20 minutes or so, but I'm going to tell you how I make this, all right? So it's already in the pot, in the saucepan. They're heating up. And then I'm going to make my version of, it's kind of a mild version of Moroccan couscous. Some couscous with some scallions, some slivered almonds, some raisins, some cranberries. So a nice mixture in with the couscous, okay? So, you ready to get cooking? I'll show you how I make these dishes. All right, here we go. Okay, here's my saucepan for my French black raspberry gastrique. Now, the way I make this, I put 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter in here. Then I finely mince up a small shallot, okay? Put the shallot in there with the butter, cook it for a minute or two. Then I add about 3 tablespoons of sugar, about 2 tablespoons of vinegar, and about 2 to 3 tablespoons of wine. But you can also use cognac or Grand Marnier. And then you add some blackberries. Put about a cup of blackberries in there. Okay? So that's 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, finely minced up small shallot. Add about 3 tablespoons of sugar. Then we add about 2 tablespoons of vinegar and a little bit of white wine, a couple of tablespoons of white wine or cognac or Grand Marnier, and then the blackberries. Okay, and let this cook over here for about 15-20 minutes, and then I'm going to put them in here. All right, and over here for my couscous, I am going to add my scallions. Okay. Scallions, yes. Turn that heat down a little bit. And in here, this saucepan, I'm going to add these beautiful pork medallions. I sliced a tenderloin, about ½ inch thick, and then I press them with my fingers, just to tenderize them a little bit, each one. And then I season them with freshly ground black pepper, some garlic powder, and some salt. All right, so where is my trusty? Here it is, over here. All right, I'm going to put these in the saucepan. I'm going to cook these medallions about 3 minutes on each side. Alexa, turn it up. And hear the jazz. Okay, in here I have olive oil and a little bit of butter. Okay, olive oil and butter. Yes. Now I want to add, and not quite yet. My couscous. Got 3 things going on here. And this gastrique is almost ready to be put in my food processor to smooth it out. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add this broth. Now, I'm going to make a cup of couscous, right? And I add a little bit more water. It's not equal, right? It's not 1 cup of couscous, 1 cup of I use chicken broth, okay? I use maybe about 1.25 cups, so a little bit more of the broth in the couscous. That way that the couscous won't come out as dry, okay? Get this ready, because that's almost ready there. These are cooking nicely. How's everybody doing out there, by the way? You guys doing okay? Hope everybody's keeping safe. And thank you for watching these Cooking with Jae segments. Greatly appreciate it. And this is the part when the house starts to smell really, really good. I'm going to cover this up to get this boiling. Okay? Now, in this dish right here, I have some golden raisins, some dried cranberries, and some slivered almonds. This will go into my couscous. So about 3 minutes on each side of these medallions. La 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 la. Okay. I would say that's about ready. Turn that off. Do that maybe another 20-30 seconds on that side. On here, my couscous. Yeah. I haven't had a lot of chance to try to think of some really good jazz food pairings, like, you know, wine and food pairings. I like to do jazz and food pairings, like what kind of jazz can work well with what kind of dish, right? I haven't thought about that with this particular dish. All right, turn these over. Yummy. And again, when you get your pork tenderloin, you want to slice them about, you know, a little less than a 1/2 inch, thick or about a 1/2 inch. Then you take your fingers and stick them into the medallions, and that tenderizes them. And then season with freshly ground black pepper, salt, and some garlic powder. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this hot mixture, do this over the sink. Wow, came out perfect. Didn't splash, didn't get it everywhere. Where is my lid? Right there. Okay. This is when it gets a little loud. Alright, turn it on. There we go. Okay, let's look at that. Look at this texture in there. My French black raspberry gastrique is looking fabulous. Just one more little. Okay, that's ready. Now, this is boiling my broth for my couscous. Okay, and a little spoon for this. And add my couscous. Turn off the heat. Of course, on the electric stove, that doesn't turn off right away. Now, I'm going to add my golden raisins, my dried cranberries, and my slivered almonds. Oh, yes, yes. And it kind of cooks itself when you get off the heat, that hot broth. Da-da, da-da-ba-ba. Okay, that's ready. My gastrique is ready. Get a little bowl for that. Da-da-da-da. Want to pour some of that in here. Ooh, yummy. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, couscous is done. Fluff it up with a fork. I'm going to add just a little bit of the salt. All right, it's ready. And my medallions are just about ready. Just about. We're getting there. We're getting there. Da-da-da-da. Okay. All right, I can turn these off. Get my plate. Alright, now I want to plate. One thing I like about this station, this jazz station on Amazon, they play a really good mixture. Alright. Duke Ellington there. In my solitude. Oh yeah. My solitude I pray. And here is this beautiful dish right here, right? My pork medallions with French black raspberry gastrique with my version, Jazzy Jae's version of kind of like a Moroccan couscous. It's in that direction. You know, I use Moroccan couscous in this dish right here. Okay, and let me set this down, and I'll tell you very quickly how I made all of this again. Wow, wow, that does look fantastic, doesn't it? Man. Can't wait to taste it. Okay, so my dinner tonight, Jazzy Jae's Kitchen, pork medallions. Slice some pieces off of a pork tenderloin. Mash them with your fingers a little bit, then season them with freshly ground black pepper, salt, and garlic powder. I use, in the saucepan, I use olive oil, a little bit of olive oil, and about a tablespoon of butter, and I cook the medallions in that. Okay, now for the French black raspberry gastrique, get a saucepan, melt 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, finely mince up 1 small shallot, put the shallots in there with the butter, cook that for a minute or 2, then add about 3 tablespoons of sugar, about 2 to 3 tablespoons of vinegar, and I use cider vinegar, so you want a good punchy vinegar to offset that sweetness with that sugar. Then I add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of wine, white wine. You can also add cognac instead of wine, or Grand Marnier. I prefer the cognac, but I didn't have any cognac around the house tonight, so I use white wine. And then I add about a cup of blackberries. All right, some good fresh blackberries, and stir it around fairly consistently, and cook it for about 15-20 minutes. Then pour it in a food processor blender and smooth it out. And then once it's ready, once the medallions are ready, then spoon some of that black raspberry gastrique over these medallions. And you're going to have a delicious meal. And for the couscous, basically some butter, in the saucepan, chop up a scallion, put some scallions in that butter, cook it for a couple of minutes, then add about 1.25 cup and a half of chicken broth, and if you're going to use 1.5 cups of broth, maybe a little bit more than a cup of the couscous. I use Moroccan couscous, okay? So you want more liquid than the couscous, otherwise the couscous will be really dry. And then for this particular dish for couscous, I added some golden raisins, some dried cranberries, and some slivered almonds. Oh, so I'm gonna go eat. I'm gonna taste this right now. Taste this couscous. One of these. It's moist. That's exactly how you want it. And the dried fruit in there with the raisins and the almonds gives it just the right texture and touch. It's a pretty good meal tonight, don't you think? All right, I'm Jae Sinnett. Thank you for watching this edition of Cooking with Jae. Usually aired Sunday nights at 6 at the WHO Public Media Facebook page at 6 p.m. Okay? And until next time, we'll see you soon with some more recipes from Jazzy Jae's Kitchen. I'm Jae Sinnett. Stay safe out there, my friends, and thank you for your support. Thanks for listening to WHRV and WHRO.